Welcome to the deep dive. Our mission, as always, is pretty straightforward. We dig into some complex sources, pull out the key insights, and give you that knowledge quickly and clearly.
Yeah, fast and usable.
Exactly. And today we're tackling a really big one. It's kind of at the heart of personal change, that classic chicken and egg thing. Do your habits shape who you are, your identity?
Or is it the other way around? Does who you believe you are, deep down, actually dictate the habits you have?
It's the question everyone bumps into, right? When you try to make a real change stick.
Absolutely. And it feels like a paradox, but the sources we looked at, they're actually pretty clear on this. The answer straight up is both.
Both. Okay.
Yeah, it's a dual relationship. Habits definitely reveal who you already are, maybe in ways you don't even realize, but they're also the main tool, really, for shaping who you become. Understanding that dual thing is key.
That framing, the dual relationship, that really shifts things, doesn't it? It takes the focus off just, the what you achieve, the goal,
Right. The outcome.
and puts it on the who. Like, who do you actually need to become to get that outcome?
Precisely. It's a much deeper question.
Okay, so let's unpack that. This duality. Where should we start? Maybe with the revealing part. How habits show us who we are.
Yeah, let's start there. The unconscious self, you could call it. We're talking about those behaviors that are just automatic, second nature.
Brushing your teeth, maybe?
Oh,
Or
yeah.
grabbing your phone first thing?
Exactly. You don't consciously decide, you just do it. And these things, these unconscious actions, they're powerful because they show us stuff about ourselves,
Mhm.
our current beliefs, maybe our upbringing, things we might even deny if asked directly.
Okay, but I can see how that could be, well, a bit uncomfortable. If your automatic habits reveal things you don't like about yourself,
Hmm.
discovering that can be tough. And the impulse, I think, for many is to immediately judge themselves. Like, ugh, why do I do that? How do the sources say we should handle that recognition?
That's a critical point. The sources really emphasize approaching this with curiosity, not judgment.
Curiosity, not judgment. Okay.
Yeah, it's a huge distinction. Judgment leads straight to shame or denial or just feeling stuck. And that basically kills any chance of change.
But curiosity.
Curiosity lets you step back, observe the habit, try to understand where it came from, and then you can start figuring out how to maybe tweak it, improve it. It's an iterative thing.
That sounds good in theory, but it feels easy to slip back into judgment. I mean, if you see someone, say, who's always late or their desk is a disaster, society kind of judges that, right? We link it to character.
We absolutely do. And the sources call this out. Specifically, they call it the moralizing trap.
The moralizing trap. Okay.
Yeah, it's this pervasive idea that, exercising every single day or keeping a spotless house makes you somehow morally superior to someone who maybe stress eats or, has papers piled everywhere.
So that's not accurate.
Not according to the research, no. Habits are more like indicators. They point to the systems you have in place, your environment, your triggers. They're not some kind of moral scorecard of your personal worth.
So the goal isn't necessarily to instantly zap the bad habit, but first just to see it. Recognize it as data. Like, okay, this behavior is flagging something about my current operating system.
Exactly right. It's about pattern recognition. Seeing what you do automatically, good or bad, without the layer of shame. That understanding, that's the first step towards actually being empowered to change something if you want to.
And once you understand those automatic patterns,
Well, then you can start to lean into them or work with them to maybe build new habits. And that automatic system, once you start intentionally shaping it, that takes us right into the second part of this whole thing, how habits actively shape who you become.
right, the identity shaping part. This is where it gets kind of exciting, I think. When you do something over and
It
over.
leaves itself into you.
Yeah, it stops being just a thing you do and it starts becoming part of who you are. The sources used running as an example, didn't they?
You did. It's not just that you go for a run sometimes. You reach a point where you think, I am a runner.
You become a runner.
That shift, that's the core of identity shaping. Consistency builds the automatic behavior, and that automatic behavior starts to change how you see yourself.
And how you see yourself then changes how you approach things, challenges, opportunities.
Exactly. And if you pull back to the big picture, who you want to be, who you are becoming, it's determined way more by what you do consistently, day in, day out.
Than by just thinking about it.
Yeah.
Or where you came from.
Way more
Yeah.
than your thoughts, your circumstances, your family background. Consistency is really the engine here.
Okay, let's dive into that more in section 2. You are what you do. This idea that consistency defines identity. It's interesting how we often define ourselves, though. We look for outside proof, don't we?
We do.
Yeah.
We get hung up on external validation. Like you might say, oh, I'm not really a writer. I haven't been published.
Or I can't call myself a painter. I've never sold anything. Why do we get so stuck on needing that external permission slip to claim an identity?
Well, I think part of it is fearing inconsistency, or maybe the judgment of others if our actions don't perfectly align all the time.
Like cognitive dissonance.
Yeah, exactly. That uncomfortable feeling when what you do doesn't quite match who you say you are. So we wait. We wait for the gallery show, the book deal, the promotion, whatever it is, to tell us, okay, now you're allowed to be this.
The source material had a great example about painters, distinguishing between different types.
Right. It points out that we easily call someone who paints houses for a job a painter. It's consistent. It's their work.
Makes sense.
But someone who paints landscapes, maybe just as often, just as dedicatedly, but on canvas in their spare time, we hesitate. We might not call them a painter, definitely not an artist, unless they've got that external validation, the sale, the gallery.
Even though both are, well, painting consistently.
They're both doing the verb to paint. But we apply these different identity rules. The sources argue, though, that relying on your internal standard, your own actions, is way more powerful.
Because identity is proven by, what was the phrase? Daily votes?
Yeah, small daily votes through your actions. Not one big election win. It's about behavioral proof.
Behavioral proof.
If you say you're a kind person, but you consistently treat people poorly, well, the actions define the identity. The behavioral proof says you're not kind, regardless of the label you want.
Ugh. That's stark. That your identity is basically just a mirror reflecting your consistent behaviors right now, whether you like them or not.
It is stark. It forces that reconciliation.
Yeah.
Who do I want to be versus what do my actions say I am right now?
So if identity is just this reflection of what we do, how do we deliberately change the reflection? How do we break out of a pattern we don't want?
Okay, that is the million-dollar question, right? And this is where the sources offer a really practical roadmap. It's about shifting your focus, moving away from just chasing outcomes.
Like losing weight or getting a promotion.
Exactly. And moving towards intentionally building identity-based habits. They use this visual, like an onion with 3 layers of change.
An onion, okay, I can picture that. So the outer layer, the skin, that's outcomes.
That's outcomes. That's what
Yeah.
you get. Losing the 20 pounds, publishing the book, winning the race. Most goals people set live right there on that surface level.
Got it. Then the next layer in.
That's processes. This is what you do. Starting the new gym routine, developing a daily writing habit, setting up a new project management system. Most habits get built here.
Okay, outcomes are what you get, processes are what you do. What's the core? The deepest layer.
That's identity. This is the core belief level. It's what you believe about yourself, your self-image, your worldview, your assumptions about what you're capable of.
So, outcomes, what you get. Processes, what you do. Identity, what you believe.
Exactly. And the critical insight here is about the direction of change. Most people work from the outside in.
They focus on the outcome. I want to lose weight.
Right. They try to change the result, the outer layer, without fundamentally changing the person, the core identity who's generating that result.
And that just leads to frustration, right? Because you're fighting your own underlying beliefs.
Totally. It often leads to burnout because the person doing the actions hasn't really changed their self-perception. The alternative, the more effective way, is to start from the inside out. Start with identity.
Start with who you wish to become.
Yes, when you decide, I want to be the type of person who is healthy and active, then the process is going to the gym, eating well, and the outcomes, losing weight, feeling better, start to feel like natural consequences of being that person.
It's not just something you force yourself to do for a goal.
It becomes simply what someone like me does. But, and this is key, to really make that new identity stick, you have to prove it to yourself.
Back to behavioral proof again.
Back to behavioral proof. Small, consistent actions that reinforce the new belief.
The story about the high school student really nails this, I think. Can you share that one?
Sure. So there was this student, generally a bit shy, wanted to get better at remembering names, connecting with people.
Okay.
In class one day, there was an exercise. Introduce yourself. Remember everyone else's name, maybe 30 people or so. The teacher challenges them, who can name everyone. The student raises her hand
Oh, wow.
and nails it, recalls every single name correctly.
Her class must have been impressed.
They were, yeah. But the sources highlight that the external reaction wasn't the main thing. The powerful shift was internal. She walked away from that thinking, maybe for the first time, I'm the type of person who is good at remembering names.
Ah, so the action, the specific win, proved the identity to herself.
Exactly. It wasn't really about the outcome of naming 30 people. It was the proof that she could be that person. It cemented the identity shift.
That's such a powerful insight. You don't need some earth-shattering event. You just need these small, repeatable proofs. Okay, this feels like where we get really practical for the listener. The sources give a clear two-step recipe for making this work, right?
They do. Super actionable. Step 1. Decide the type of person you want to be.
Decide who you want to be. What if you're not sure?
Good question. If you're stuck, work backward. Think about a result you want, maybe being financially stable. Then ask, okay, who is the type of person who achieves that? What do they believe about themselves? What do they do?
So work backward from the outcome to identify the underlying identity. Got it. What's step 2?
Step 2, and this is where the magic happens. Prove it to yourself with small wins.
Small wins, tiny votes.
Exactly. Focus on generating those little pieces of evidence that confirm your new desired identity.
Let's walk through the examples the sources gave. They linked the outcome, the new identity, and a really small, doable win. This feels super helpful.
Okay, so desired outcome, lose weight. The identity shift isn't become thin, it's become the type of person who moves more every day.
Moves more, not necessarily exercises intensely.
Right. And the small win, not joining a fancy gym or starting a killer diet tomorrow. It's walk 50 steps when you get home from work. Just 50 today.
50 steps, that's it.
That's it for day 1. Tomorrow maybe add 50 more. The point isn't the distance, it's proving the identity. I am someone who moves. That tiny action casts a vote, and if you follow that pattern, adding a bit consistently.
You could end up walking 10,000 steps a day by year end without some massive initial hurdle.
Exactly. The focus is on the identity vote, not the immediate result.
Okay, another one. Outcome. Become a better writer. The identity.
Become the type of person who writes every day. Or maybe writes 1,000 words a day, eventually. But the small win to start.
Let me guess. Write one sentence.
Close. Write 1 paragraph each day this week. Just 1. You might not hit 1,000 words for ages, but for 7 days straight you proved. I am a writer. I showed up.
That feels achievable.
Ah.
Okay, what about physical strength? Outcome. Get strong.
Identity. Become the type of person who never misses a workout. That sounds intimidating, right?
Yeah, never miss. That's tough.
But the small win makes it manageable. Do push-ups every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Even if it's just 1 push-up.
So one.
Just 1 counts as not missing the workout. You fulfilled the identity. You are the type of person who doesn't miss workouts. The goal shifts from a painful chore to just maintaining the identity streak.
That reframing is powerful. What about non-fitness goals, like social or work stuff?
Good examples there too. Social goal, be a better friend, identity. Become the type of person who always stays in touch. Small win.
Call everyone you know.
No, simpler. Call 1 friend every Saturday. Just 1. Do that consistently, and over a year, you've nurtured connections with maybe 12 important people. You've proven you're that reliable friend.
Nice. And the work example. Being taken seriously.
Right. Outcome. Be taken seriously at work. Identity. Become the type of person who is always on time. Not just squeaking in, but reliably punctual. The small win.
Leave earlier.
Even more systemic. Schedule all your meetings with an extra 15-minute buffer in between. That automatically builds in the time to transition, prepare, and arrive early or calmly on time. It proves the identity through the sister itself.
Wow, those are really concrete. And the underlying principle seems to be make the vote for your identity almost ridiculously easy to cast at first.
Exactly. Because especially when you're starting, proving the identity is way more important than getting some huge, amazing result right away.
Forget the outcome for now. Just be the person.
Be the person. You can't just rely on motivation that fades. You have to become the person who does the thing, motivated or not. That identity becomes the engine that keeps you going. Consistency comes from identity.
Okay, so wrapping this up. What's the big takeaway for you, the listener, from this deep dive? It feels like a pretty fundamental shift in perspective.
I think it is. The main thing is, stop worrying so much about the specific results you're chasing.
Stop obsessing over the number on the scale or the title on the door.
Right. And start focusing intensely on the identity you're trying to build, vote by vote. Who do you want to be?
Because that identity is what fuels the consistency needed to get the results anyway.
Precisely. When you stop stressing about losing 20 pounds and just focus on proving day by day that you are the type of person who moves more, the processes fall into place, and eventually the outcomes tend to follow. It flips the script. Focus on those small, repeatable actions that prove who you are.
So, the final thought for you to chew on. We now know pretty clearly that we are what we consistently do. Take an honest look at your current habits. What identity are they revealing right now?
And maybe ask yourself, is there an outdated or inaccurate label you're still clinging to? Like, oh, I'm just not a morning person, or I'm terrible with money, even though you want to be different.
And if there is, what's the smallest possible win, the tiniest action you can commit to today, right now, to cast the very first vote for the new identity you've actually been wanting? What's vote number one?